MeTV is America's #1 classic TV entertainment network, airing over 60 of the greatest TV series every week. Now, MeTV presents The Golden Girls of Summer, showcasing the best of the Golden Girls. Watch Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia, weeknights on MeTV at 10 p.m. 9 Central. Log on to MeTV.com now to find out where to watch MeTV free over the air and on cable, satellite, and select streaming services. MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Truckers aren't just moving goods. They're making sure bakers get their chocolate chips and hotels get their tiny soaps. But truckers can't do this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive has over 360 heavy truck employees to help truckers stay on time and on track. Quote truck insurance today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic to cosplay to Schitt's Creek to Supernatural and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say that I somehow, at the end of this episode, totally forgot to have Kim and Carla let you know where they could be found. So I apologize to Kim. I apologize to Carla. I apologize to everybody out there. So you will hear at the very end, I'm kind of just going to splice in where they said they could be found at the end of our pop culture episode. So please stay tuned until the end of the episode so you can hear where they can be found. And again, apologies to Carla and Kim. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy our Independence Day episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and it's time for us to get patriotic. Oh, God, it's making me really physically ill, so I'm going to try to. But we're going to be talking about Independence Day today. So this is the most patriotic you will see this podcast be this week and next week when we talk about Top Gun. But this movie is turning 30 years old, so I thought, what better time to discuss it than now? Plus, this is a first-time watch for me, believe it or not, everybody out there. My first time watching this was yesterday. And both my panelists have no idea how I feel about this, just as all of you have no idea, because the only reaction they know is when I look to see the runtime and I went, this movie is 2.5 hours long.
And it was the best 2.5 hours of your life.
Right?
And then you went immediately out and you bought red, white, and blue gear.
Oh, gosh.
Because you felt so excited about patriotism.
Yeah. But you will find out, along with my two panelists, how I feel about this movie. Very, very shortly, we're going to be spoiling this movie, so whatever. So let me introduce those panelists. So first up from OK Real Quick, Carla. Hello, Carla.
Hello, Erin. Hello, everybody.
And then also joining me is from Big Reputations Pod. They are quote unquote retired, but you can still go listen to them. Kim. Hello, Kim.
Hi, everybody. And you guys can't see, but I am wearing a Captain Stephen Hillard t-shirt.
I love it.
I love this movie so much, and I question this country so much that this is my Independence Day. So when I go to a barbecue, I'm wearing this shirt. I am celebrating the release date of the movie, not the country. It's been that way for the last 5 or 6 years. And people are like, oh, happy Independence Day. And I'll be like, happy Stephen Hillard Day to you. I don't celebrate this country. I celebrate the movie Independence Day on Independence Day. I watch it every Independence Day, and then I go to a barbecue because I love burgers and hot dogs, and why not? But the joy and the celebration is for the movie, not America. America doesn't deserve a birthday right now. It's on punishment.
No, for real. Yeah, exactly.
It's on
Sit in
punishment.
your timeout chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think about what you did.
Think about what you've done. You don't get presents. No.
You're grounded.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that, though. I love that. And also, Tiff was supposed to be here, but Tiff unfortunately could not come. But I will be reading some of Tiff's thoughts as we go through. So you will get to quote unquote hear from her, but it will be my voice. So it's like almost like I'm channeling Tiff's spirit. No, that sounds really weird, but I'm just, we're connected. We're doing the thing the aliens do in this movie.
I was about to say, you're the alien with like the tentacles around her neck speaking for her.
Or she,
You know,
she has her tentacles around my neck and I'm speaking for her.
That's better.
And
there are
that
tentacles
is where
involved,
James Cameron got the idea for the Na'vi with their tentacle lovemaking thing.
I've never seen those movies. I'm okay on those completely.
I won't see any of the sequels because I hate the first one with the burning passion.
Oh, God, same.
That's something we will never cover on this podcast. I do want to say there are a few things we'll never cover, and that's one of them. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some IMDb information. I'll give the IMDb description. Once again, we're spoiling this 30-year-old movie. The aliens are coming, and their goal is to invade and destroy Earth. Fighting superior technology, mankind's best weapon is the will to survive. That actually kind of fits the movie. So
you just sound so disappointed.
Well, it's just so cheesy. This IMDb disappoints me regularly with their descriptions. It's very rare that I'm like, yay, IMDb, you did this one very well. It was directed by Roland Emmerich. It was written by Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. And it stars Will Smith as Captain Stephen Hiller, that once again, Kim is wearing her shirt celebrating. Bill Pullman as President Thomas J. Whitmore. Jeff Goldblum as David Levinson. Judd Hirsch as Julius Levinson. Mary McDonnell as Marilyn Whitmore, or, the First Lady. Robert Loggia as General William Gray. Randy Quaid as Russell Case. I cannot read all of these names because everybody in the world is in this movie.
Yeah, true. I don't know what the budget was.
I was watching this and I'm like, how many people are in this movie? Oh my
All
gosh.
of them.
I know. Vivica A. Fox as Jasmine Dubrow. And I think that's where I'm going to... a young Mae Whitman as the president's daughter. I did want to mention that. But yeah, so what I first want to start out with is, so Carla, on a scale of 1 to 5 UFOs, I'm so creative. What do you rate Independence Day? And has that rating changed since the first time you saw it?
I would give it 4 full UFOs and 1, half one, after they blow it up and there's half of it left. So 4.5 UFOs. And frankly, my rating has not changed in the past 2 years since that movie first came out. I enjoyed it. I watched it in a movie theater the first time that I watched it, and everybody was so in sync with their reactions. It was honestly one of those magical movie moments that, the kind of thing that Nicole Kidman was talking about in that ad, but less cheesy. It was a blast to watch it, and I enjoyed watching it this time around because I watched it with my child, who was mostly watching it every now and then running away because it was too scary.
Yeah, the aliens are actually really, really well done. Yeah.
And this is why we don't need AI. Go back to
exactly
19 whatever
96.
year that was. Sure. 2006. Sure. I'm just in denial about the age of this movie, okay, and of how long ago that was. And look at the effects and how engaging the movie is visually, and then tell me that we still need AI, because we do not.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kim?
I give it all 5 UFOs. It's nostalgia. I saw this movie opening day with my dad when I was 10, and I loved the explosions. I loved the storylines, and I watch it every year, so I feel like I get a little bit closer to it. And the last couple of years, I just said, America's crazy and disconnected, and it's really interesting to see a world where our government takes care of its people, has a plan, listens to smaller voices. It's so fiction that it's really nice to see. So it feels like, oh man, we could have that, but we don't. But this movie is kind of perfect because it's so nice. And the nerd saves the day. You know, like it's just a good film. And if I could give it more UFOs, I would. I love it.
I follow Kim on Letterboxd, and when I logged my Letterboxd rating last night, I scrolled down and saw what yours was, so I spoiled myself.
Aw.
Which I guess I shouldn't have done.
Right.
Before I give you my rating, I will let you know what Tiff said. So Tiff gives it 4 UFOs, and she says storyline is still great. The chemistry between Will and Jeff is fantastic. Writing is solid. And she's withholding 1 UFO because killing off the first lady was way too easy.
You know what? She's not wrong in that regard.
No. And kind of lazy because it wasn't even like gruesomely done. It was just like, oh no,
Yeah.
she died. Like,
Right.
sorry. Internal bleeding, bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Go big or go home.
Okay, so I wish I had kind of seen this in a theater or seen it when it first came out. I didn't have any desire to see this movie when it first was released, so that's why. I give it 3 UFOs. I will keep my thoughts to a minimum on this episode because I understand why this would be so beloved. For me, it just made me think, oh, if I had watched this when it first came out and in a theater and had the experience of seeing this movie in a theater, I think my opinion on it might have been different. I hate Jeff Goldblum so much. He creeps me out big time. And so I forgot he was in this. And so when I saw him, I went, oh no, I'm going to have to watch Jeff Goldblum for 2.5 hours. So that kind of was like, oh God, that big shocker. But it's still, it's enjoyable. I think, like I said, the aliens are really well done. Like I literally had a jump scare in this movie, which shocked the hell out of me when they were operating on that alien, the alien that Will Smith, brought back, and they cut it open and it like did the pop thing. I jumped. I was like, holy crap, that actually got me. So I think that's well done. It's fun. It's enjoyable. When we get to the characters, there's one thing I really, really appreciated that this movie and it kind of shocked the hell out of me. But I'll get to that when we get to the characters. But like I said, I think what happened with my viewing experience and why I can't give it as many as everybody else's is the fact that I don't have that nostalgic feeling for it. I didn't see it in the theater, seeing it later. And so I think that kind of hindered that for me. But I love how much it means to everybody else. So like I said, I will keep my thoughts to a minimum and I'll try and stay on the positive side because I do have some positive things. I took so many notes for this movie. And I did a lot of like quoting and stuff and laughing because I knew a lot of the stuff from this movie. I already knew a lot of the lines, like I picked a horrible day to quit drinking and all that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of Will Smith's lines I knew. But anyway, so that's why I give it that. So I can't say whether or not it holds up because this was my very first time watching it. So I watched it though. At least I watched it.
I'm proud of you.
Through it.
And I didn't, thank you. And I didn't hate it or anything. So Carla, what are your brief thoughts on the overall premise of the film?
Aliens invade Earth, specifically targeting the United States. And then the U.S. kind of, drops the ball, picks up the ball, runs with it, brings the whole world into it. Everybody rejoices together and there are never any wars anymore and everybody gets along forevermore. Yeah. Solid premise. I like that. It's a very cool fantasy, especially given where we are now all these years later. And it's like, oh, hey, that didn't quite happen the way we hoped it would. Not the alien invasion thing. That hasn't happened just yet. But the whole world coming together and being friendly, not so much. But that's kind of why I enjoy the premise such as it is, because it gives us kind of that hope and the illusion that, hey, in some universe somewhere it could happen.
Yeah, that made up universe that some people say that's what our country is.
Which is just, sure, bud.
Yeah, exactly. So Kim.
I love the premise. I think it's very simple. You're right. Aliens want our planet. It's not a new premise, but I think all the side stories make it so much more human. Like, oh yeah, these are the people that we want to keep on this planet. These are the lives, the storylines that we're fighting for. I liked that every storyline had a little there were like little offshoots and there were like lots of people, like Jeff Goldblum and his dad. Like his dad is a whole ass character in this side arc of his character. Like that's the connection. Like that's what I think moves the story forward. Like, because the premise is very simple, but they fill it out with human connection, which I love.
Yeah, I do love Judd Hirsch. I will say that. So. I do. I have to say, I was kind of excited when I would see some people pop up like that's the dad from the Wonder Years.
Yeah. He like sets the tone early for the cameos because like he doesn't show up that much more often, but it's like, that's the dad from the Wonder Years. They put money down on this movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote down. That's the very first, that's like the third note I took. The dad from Wonder Years.
Like him and Andrew Keegan. I was like, what's Andrew Keegan doing in this thing?
Yeah, like he was big at that point too, I think.
Huge. He was everywhere in the 90s.
Man, everybody should look up Andrew Keegan and stuff about him. No, it's fascinating.
No?
It's
really, really?
I was worried. I was like, is he a bad guy now?
Yeah.
Because I did have a poster on my wall. I definitely had like a from 17 or maybe like Tire Beat or something. I had him on my wall. He was a celebrity crush for sure. So I hope he's not a creep now.
Just Google him.
That is not very encouraging.
No, I'll do it later so I don't have a reaction.
Once again, I'm going to give Tiff's thoughts first. Overall story works. People gathering at top of building underneath a giant ass UFO is truly American energy. That's true. Welcome. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's true.
It was awful, but also kind of funny.
Yeah. They all deserve that. Yeah. They deserve that.
I mean, yeah, this is a typical alien movie, aliens coming to destroy us. You know, there's way more movies where the aliens are bad instead of ones where they're good, which sometimes I'm like, we need to do more where the aliens are good. But, you know, it's the typical thing.
When they watch our movies, they won't try to nuke it. They'll be like, oh, they're friendly. It's okay. I think they might like us.
So, you know, the typical, like, they also, you know, there's stuff in New Mexico, Area 51, all of that. I will say, and I don't think either of my panelists know this, and I don't think I've ever said this on here, even saying all that I want more stuff with, like, you know, where the aliens aren't bad. Aliens and the UFO stuff scares the hell out of me and always has. I have this really weird, irrational fear of being taken hostage on a UFO. I cannot explain this. It's like if I am on a road trip, and I used to take road trips where we'd still be driving really late at night, and you're in the middle of nowhere, I am like, any minute now, a UFO is going to come and take us. It's this weird fear that I have. So, you know, it kind of like any of, you know, these ones kind of play into that fear a little bit. I mean, this didn't really, except for that jump scare, like scare me or trigger anything in me. I just have always had a lifelong like fear of UFOs.
I think it makes sense because not everybody grows up to be a fighter pilot who then gets a chance to get into a spaceship and then go and blow up a spaceship themselves, like Russell Case did. So it's understandable that not everybody has that available to them as a possibility if they do get abducted by aliens.
I think the premise works for what it's doing. This is a very 90s movie. This is a very Roland Emmerich movie. This is a very, you know, let's all come together as Americans movie. The president is actually one of us movie, you know, so it fits the premise. It does it very well. It does what it's setting out to do very well. And I think this is a very nostalgic movie for so many people. I appreciate it for that. I think it succeeds on that level. So, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the characters and mention who our favorite is. So we'll be right back.
MeTV is America's #1 classic TV entertainment network, airing over 60 of the greatest TV series every week. Now, MeTV presents The Golden Girls of Summer, showcasing the best of the Golden Girls. Watch Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia, weeknights on MeTV at 10 p.m. 9 Central. Log on to MeTV.com now to find out where to watch MeTV free over the air and on cable, satellite, and select streaming services. MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Sometimes us men don't think much about what we wear, particularly in the summer months. You find something that's not too hot, put it on and repeat until it falls apart. This episode is sponsored by Quince, and they are changing the game for men this summer. Quince makes high-quality essentials in genuinely good materials, like breathable European linen and soft organic cotton, priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do that by working directly with ethical factories and cutting out all the middlemen. You're paying for what it actually is, not what it's been marketed as. Their European linen pants and shirts are the kind of thing you pick up as one item and end up wearing 3 times a week, starting from just $34. The tees are soft and actually fit well, and the lightweight cotton sweaters are genuinely useful when summer evenings turn on you without warning, as they tend to. And they've gone well beyond clothing. Custom upholstered sofas, ceramic cookware, premium bedding. It's become the kind of brand where you end up recommending it for everything, which is either a good sign or a sign you've become a person who recommends brands. Either way, for a man like me, the linen shirt is a game changer. You can wear it an embarrassing number of times this summer, and it never goes out of style or out of comfort. If you've been getting through summers on the same approach I used to use, then Quince is the upgrade for you. Elevate your summer wardrobe. Go to quince.com/wizardio for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/wizardio for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wizardio.
Okay, so Carla, what are your thoughts? And we won't go like deep into every character, by the way. I meant to put that on your thoughts on the characters, and then who is your favorite?
That's kind of easy. It changes every now and then, but it's generally the same. But okay, so first of all, I just want to point out that Harvey Fierstein in this is hilarious, and just I love that character so much. And I was so bummed when he died. I was like, oh, I was hoping he'd make it to wherever he was going to go and hole up, because he was just hilarious. Like I said, I watched it with my son. I think his favorite character might have been Boomer the dog, because he was like so upset when he couldn't see Boomer for a hot second. And he's like, where did the dog go? Did the dog survive? And then the dog comes like jumping into the frame. You're like, oh, okay. Okay, good. The dog's okay. I loved Harry Connick Jr. Just like being there, being weird as hell was so funny. This was like Will Smith in his prime. So Stephen Hiller was that guy. He's that guy who was like young and brash and like full of like, spirit. And none of these characters have a ton of depth to them, but I think that they were given a lot more than so many other movies that attempt this same kind of thing where you have like a stacked cast and a lot of characters. So he still feels like a real person. And I really appreciate how they managed to do that, because none of these people really get a ton of screen time in comparison to everybody else. But Stephen Hiller just really seems like somebody that you could put your trust in, because he is very, very devoted to the cause, whatever cause it happens to be. And he's very devoted to his girlfriend and, / wife. He's very devoted to his stepson Dylan and to, America and to combating aliens by whatever means are necessary. Like, he just steals a plane because he's like, just tell them that I punched you. And it's like, okay, sure, let's do that. That makes total sense. But he's also just so charming. So he gets away with a lot because he's charming. I love the character of David because as a nerd, I like seeing nerds win. I like nerds being the ones who are like, hey, this is happening. You need to listen to science, not just, try to nuke your way through this. Because so much of this movie was like, hey, the aliens, they have shields. Okay, bomb them. Okay, their ship survived. Bomb them with more bombs. Like, okay, how about we take a step back and figure out how to get through the shields first? It's like a nuke is not going to suddenly bring down their shields. And I really liked that it had like that very sci-fi movie line. If somebody says something that has nothing to do with the topic at hand, it's like, wait, say that again.
Yeah.
I loved every bit of like the scientific nerdy person being the one who makes the plan that works work. And I can't stand Randy Quaid. And when I was younger, I thought that Russell Case was played so much better. I was like, oh my gosh, he was like so good. It was like, and watching it now, I'm like, oh no, he did it. He did a pretty like okay job. He was all right. I was more invested in his kids because I thought that they did like a really good job. I was like, they could have given them more screen time because they were really compelling. I wanted to know more about those kids and their story, but of course not. Why would we go that route when we have this guy who is more famous? And now I will talk about my favorite character, my president, Bill Pullman. And in the late 90s, we had this contingent of people who were, Morgan Freeman is my president, and the contingent of people who were like, Bill Pullman is my president. My president is Bill Pullman. And it's because of this movie, because that speech that he gives, yes, it is cheesy as hell and bombastic, whatever, but he really delivers it with so much feeling. And I feel like in this movie, I think he does a really good job because it is listen, all of the actors in this really sell this implausible, weird story as if they truly believe that it is real. And that's what makes a lot of these characters work so well, when the things that are saying are objectively just like weird out of context. And it's also, coincidentally, why so many of the lines work so well as memes and why so many people know the lines outside of the context of this movie. They are classics, not because they're particularly well-written lines or particularly interesting lines, but because they're delivered with such emotion and such belief by these actors, like fully invested in these roles, that they do work. And Bill Pullman, I think, for me, just really sells this character who does some things that would not be plausible in reality. Like, you're not going to be like, well, I used to be a pilot, so I'm going to, as the president with no cabinet because they all got nuked, I'm going to get into this plane and maybe die. Sure, Mr. President, here are the keys. Not going to happen, but he just makes it so much more convincing, I think. And as a side note, the score is also a character because a lot of these scenes are also elevated by the score being as emotionally tuggy as they are. Like, they really make a scene come alive because, again, this isn't Shakespeare. This isn't just an amazing... Nobody's clamoring to see this on stage, you know what I mean? But it's loved and beloved and quoted and memed so much because everybody plays it with such conviction that you, I think, as a viewer, really fall into falling in love with the characters.
I knew that was who your favorite was.
Of course you did. Who here does not know about my love for Bill Pullman and how, like, everything he's in, I'm like, oh, Bill Pullman. My eternal crush on the man.
And I mean, I have no idea who's Kim's favorite is. Just kidding.
Actually.
Can't imagine.
Yes.
I want to know, is Morgan Freeman your president or is Bill Pullman your president?
I don't think I've ever thought about it.
It's a very important question.
I know. Now I feel like I need to review other presidents maybe. But I guess I would say Morgan Freeman was the president was it
in like 2 movies that he was the president. He was president in...
But the other one that this guy did too. I can't remember. The Day After Tomorrow, was he the president in that?
And no, in Deep Impact.
Deep Impact. Oh, yeah. Deep Impact is so
one
good.
Opposite of Armageddon.
Yes. I mean, I like the world where Morgan Freeman is president. I think he would do a good job. I'd say I'm in camp Morgan Freeman as president.
Okay.
No. Sorry. I'll do some more research and I'll probably find some crazy other answer.
But man, his policies suck.
Well, unless you got a ticket to the bunker, yeah, his policies
true.
really suck. But my actual favorite character was a tie between Jasmine and her Captain Stephen Hiller. I just really loved Jasmine's character. Like, I always get a little weary when like non-Black people write for Black women, but they could have went the way of like, well, she's a stripper and a single mother, but like they didn't, because she is those things, but she's not just those things. She's like a real badass throughout this whole film. Like, she's really funny. She's empathetic. She's like proud of herself, her son, her family. She's proud of Will Smith's character. She saves her kid and her dog by just street smarts. Like, everyone's running around, screaming around her. And she's like, where can I go to be away from this? Everyone runs past that door and she starts kicking at it. And it's so close. And then we almost lose Boomer to the flames. But he comes in and like, she's the only one that survives in that tunnel because she's smart and she took the time to look around. She also like saves countless people. Like, she finds that truck and she just starts loading people up on it. And like, they just listen to her. She's like, I'm going to this army base. Y'all are coming with me. She saves the president's wife. She like doesn't even mention that she knows this woman too. Like, she's just like, it's very, very down to earth and like headstrong and very smart. She's sharing resources. She's giving advice. She's caregiving. She also has like some attitude when she needs to. But I just think she's so great. Like, she adapts so quickly. And I really love that they didn't dumb her down for this role. And like, the more I thought about it, like a lot of the women in this film are very strong. Like, even the first lady, who dies in a kind of weirdly pathetic way, is like really strong in the beginning. The second, or I guess it's in this order, Captain Stephen Hiller is my second favorite character. He just has some of the best one-liners, like you said, like punching an alien in the face and saying, I could have been at a barbecue. Like, chef's kiss. Like, that's just so funny. I feel like his character could come off as arrogant, but he comes off as confident because he's also really supportive of everyone around him. Like, when they're doing that first mission and like the people around him are kind of losing it, like Harry Connick Jr., he's like, put your mask on, put your mask back on. Like, you've got this. Like, you know what you're doing. He's not an asshole, and he can be, but he's like really good at his job and he's supportive of people around him. I feel like part of that is just like the talents that are Will Smith, but like the writing on this feels very, very thoughtful to be good to these people, to be good to like, to kind of elevate these characters. Cause I mean, like, again, non-Black people writing for Black people, and they did a really good job of making them not stereotypes, which I know is like such a low bar to be so proud of, but like, it was 1996, you know?
Right.
I love Will Smith's character. I love his interactions. Like, I know you mentioned Harry Connick Jr. I could just watch a movie with the two of them. Like, I loved him calling him Big Daddy all the time. Like, how'd that start?
That was so cute.
Like, that was adorable. Like, hold me, Big Daddy. When did you start doing that? Like, they just have such a relationship where, like, I feel like back, like when he drops the ring and he picks it up and it looks like they're proposing and that other guy just kind of like backs up. In 1996, that was in a movie, like this kind of joke about these guys being gay, but neither one of them really caring. There was no like, oh, no homo, bro. Like, it was just played off as like, haha, they're funny best friends. Like, I kind of love that. Like, it's the writing on this, I think, is just so much more future planning than like it was. Cause like when you look back at other things going on at the time, like, I just don't understand how this movie is so perfect. And again, I'm really, the nostalgia in me is like calling it perfect, but it's so
right,
better than, it's so much better than I thought it would be. Right?
The way that they treated Jasmine, like there was nothing about, oh, it's a shame that she's a stripper. She was like, yeah, it's a great job.
Yeah. Like, she's like, it feeds my kid. Like, and there's a line where Harry Connick Jr. is like, when Will Smith doesn't get the promotion, he's like, well, they're never going to hire a guy whose like girlfriend is a stripper, which I guess like they do all that background, but he wants to marry her anyway. He's willing to like not move further in his career because he wants to marry her, even though he bought her that ugly, ugly dolphin ring. That ring is the worst thing in this movie. It is so ugly. But I love the two of them together. I love the interactions with the kid. Like, they are my favorite in this film. And like, they're all those little side characters that are so good too. And like, I feel like deeply written for even having small parts. Like, like Harvey is like so good. Like, I got to call my therapist. I got to call my mother. Like, he's just so funny. And I wonder how much of that they let him like ad lib, because he's like a big ad libber. I don't know. Those are my favorite two, but like I love so much more, but I'll leave it at the two.
So Tiff's favorite was Julian Levinson, who is Judd Hirsch's character. And she said, snarky, meddling meddler who meddles. His energy is impeccable. So I liked him too. Yeah. And I did want to make a correction because I'm sure people are yelling. Randy Quaid's character is not the first character to say that drinking line. That actually is a quote from Airplane. And that was the character Steve McCroskey, played by Lloyd Bridges. And he says, looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. There's other plays not of to quit sniffing glue, to quit. So it's actually not this movie that started that. I did want to make that correction because I'm sure people are yelling, and I understand.
They're writing their emails right now.
Yeah, so I'm making that correction.
Backspace.
I realized that I'm like, wait a minute, that's not actually where that came from. So yes, that's a reference to that. Both of you stole all my notes on Jasmine. That's
I knew that was going to be your favorite character.
But that is the one thing that I appreciate about this movie, as far as like, especially the time period and the fact that it's a blockbuster type movie, and it's a 90s movie, and it's done by Roland Emmerich, and it's like an action alien movie. The fact that you have a stripper in here who is a mom, and the stripper, someone who is a stripper, Jasmine, isn't like portrayed as a slut and portrayed as a bad mother. And the film is never, ever looking down on her being a stripper and working in that industry. You have the first lady say, I'm sorry, but then she instantly says, don't be sorry, which I loved that. And the audience is not supposed to be judging it either. You have people, like it's said, like Harry Connick Jr.'s character saying that about, you don't get ahead marrying a stripper. And that's more the characters judging, and it's not the audience. The audience is not supposed to judge her. And that is very rare, especially in that time period. And it would have been a lot more of usually in other hands, and especially around then, would have been a lot more like she would have died. Honestly, she would have died really quickly. Yeah. And she would have been portrayed as like, oh, she's not a good mother. Oh, she's not this. Oh, she's not smart. Oh, she's not capable. Oh, she just leads with her body. And that's never once what she did. So I was really shocked by that. I was like blown over, absolutely gobsmacked. I could not believe that a movie like this, in all honesty, did that. I don't think it was very good on other things, but I think that was like incredible. As far as for the other characters, I do like Steven. I'm not going to talk about the Jeff Goldblum character because I don't like Jeff Goldblum, so I'm not even going to like focus on that character at all. I'm sorry, everybody, but he just really, he creeps me out so much.
What did he do? Like, was there a role that you were like, yuck? Or is he like, as a person,
he's just
yuck?
always creeped me out. I think he is. I would not be shocked if, anyway, sorry. He just has always creeped me out. He makes my skin crawl, literally makes my skin crawl. So I'm sorry, but I can't help it. So I do like Steve. I do like Will Smith's character. I want to say this is like probably the most attractive Will Smith has ever looked. At least I think so. I don't know. I think he looked really, really attractive in this. I've always been a fan of Harry Connick Jr. I was like, okay, and on this, I'll be honest, but I've always been a fan of his. I think people don't realize that he actually can be a really good actor. Go watch the movie Bug. He is fantastic in that. He's not a good person in it, but he's really, really good in that movie. But I know people give him a hard time because I think everybody thinks of him as like, oh, he's that swinger. Not swinger.
Maybe
he is. We just don't know.
We don't know.
He's that singer, and everybody just thinks of him as the singer that's like, back in the 90s, he was like the Frank Sinatra kind of wannabe singer. I had a lot of Harry Connick Jr. albums too. But he's actually a good actor, and I don't think a lot of people really give him enough credit for that. I think, to me, it seemed very evident that the president was modeled after what kind of a lot of people at that time, how they viewed Bill Clinton. This is not who Bill Clinton was, but this is how I think a lot of people viewed, and some still do, Bill Clinton. And I think it was pretty evident that the president was modeled after him, but this is in no way, shape, or form Bill Clinton, because no. I do not like Bill Clinton.
No.
But I thought Bill Pullman did a really good job. Anyway, so yes, my favorite character is Jasmine. I think there's a little bit too many characters in this movie, but once again, I think me seeing it at this time period kind of colors my impressions of the movie. So I'm trying to be very, very positive because I know how much both of you like this movie. So yeah, but I once again, I just so appreciate that a movie made during this time period had such respect for sex workers. That was just mind blowing to me. I just still can't get over that. That was so bizarre to me. We're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what makes this film a successful blockbuster. So we'll be right back.
For a small business owner, every day is full of surprises. Some great, some not so great. Like when a client cancels their order at the last minute. But here's a surprise you will like. Progressive provides small business owners with 30 customizable coverage options to help keep their business going strong. So go ahead, surprise yourself. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates and third-party insurers. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
We love our pets. They're our best friends as we navigate life's ups and downs with a wag or a purr just when we need it. The Royal Veterinary College is there for our pets, home to Europe's largest small animal referrals hospital, with over 200 specialists providing expert care 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The bond between a pet and their person is worth fighting for, and that's the belief that inspired the RVC Memory Tree, a beautiful handmade sculpture standing in the heart of the RVC Small Animal Referrals Hospital, adorned with gold, silver and copper leaves, each one engraved with the name of a beloved pet, and each one funding the extraordinary work happening there every day. For just £10 a month, you can dedicate a leaf in the name of your pet, celebrating your pet's life, whilst also helping to fund life-saving treatment and care for animals in need. Visit rvcact.com/memory tree to dedicate a leaf today and let your pet's memory live on.
Okay, so Carla, what do you think makes this film a successful blockbuster?
I think one thing with blockbusters is that you have to go big. And I don't mean just in amount of characters, amount of, like a huge world or anything like that. Your idea has to be huge. You have to have something slightly outlandish and something slightly weird. And the reason that this works as a really good blockbuster movie is that it brings us a lot of actors who were really big, particularly in that time, or who were becoming very big, because Will Smith, he was a big deal. You had Fresh Prince, but this was the big blockbuster that really, really put him on the map and cemented him as a movie star. And Kim and I were just talking about how for a while, Will Smith was your summer blockbuster guy. And when you had a summer blockbuster, he was the guy who was in it, and he was like almost a guaranteed seat filler because it's a Will Smith movie. Of course, we got to go watch it. So you need, again, at least one person who is incredibly charismatic and who will bring a lot of people to theaters. You also need a big outlandish story, and you need to really believe in it, not so much believe your own premise even necessarily, but just believe in it as a story and present it in a way that doesn't cut corners. And what I mean by that is that I feel like a lot of times, because you can have a movie that does big box office, but I don't really consider something to be a blockbuster if it's not something that people remember years down the line. If it doesn't have a lasting impact on its audience, then I think it's just a big movie that had a big box office in that moment. Like Wild Wild West, which Kim and I mentioned briefly. That's a movie that had briefly a big box office, and then who cares about it? But Independence Day, very much a movie of its time, but also a movie that I think it went beyond its time by bringing in ideas of aliens who are hostile, and it not being just one person's problem or not one nation's problem. It became eventually a worldwide problem. And yes, it is incredibly jingoistic and very much centering the US. And you see like everybody in the world is like, finally, the Americans have given us a plan. Let's follow that to a T because, whew, thank God, otherwise we'd have to think for ourselves. And you see a lot of, like landscapes of people, in the very stereotypical things that people think of when they think of, oh, this country in this other continent, what is the most reductive way we can present them? And that's what they went with. So yes, it has its flaws. Not saying that it doesn't, but the great things about it, particularly, again, when I watched it in this movie theater that was full of people who were very synced up in their reactions, it feels like everybody's cup is filled with spirit. And not even like, Go America spirit, but just this collective feeling that we're being entertained in a big way, in a way that we can all click in with. It's not a very specific movie. And the things you can have very specific movies that are blockbusters. They had Sinners, which was a very specific movie with a very specific goal and is a blockbuster. But I think more commonly we have these very broad movies with very broad themes. And it's just enjoyable in a popcorn sense, which is not every movie needs to make me think. I like thinking. I like movies that make me break things down and deconstruct or dive into lore from other things. I like movies that dive into people's lives and make me appreciate other people and other cultures. But I also like just something where I can just shut off the brain and just enjoy what's happening in front of me. Another thing that I think really that really is important is visually is a captivating movie. It is well done visually. These days, a lot of sci-fi movies go way too... They kind of go out of their way to present a world that is very intricate, but doesn't have a lot of heart. It doesn't really matter that it's very intricate. Like, I don't care that this building took 15 people 84 weeks to design because it's there for a second and you're not making me care about it. In this movie, you're mostly seeing things that you can relate to. And then you see these spaceships, and the spaceships are interesting, but you're not too focused on them to the point where that's, the fakeness of it takes away from it being your real world, where these could be your neighbors. This could be the house next door to you. This could be a building that you've walked past many times. And that's something that I think is part of what has become thought of as a blockbuster experience especially like with Marvel movies, where a lot of it is visual effects with no heart. The few Marvel movies that I would consider blockbusters, like Black Panther, those are movies that stay with me for a while. The other ones are movies that I may have watched a couple of times, but I don't really care about to the extent that I'm thinking about them for, 30 years later and still quoting them and vividly remembering scenes and things that happened in them. And like I said, they don't have to be perfect. And this movie is certainly not perfect. A couple of things that my son pointed out, he pointed out that, and it didn't occur to me until he mentioned it, that the seats in the spaceship that Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith fly are the perfect size for humans, but those aliens were much bigger. So how did those aliens sit? Like, did they just considerately were like, maybe our new friends will want to drive them too. Let's put in seats that they can sit in, which is, very contradictory considering they wanted to eliminate the entire human race, whatever. Like, why didn't they wear spacesuits in these aircraft that are going up into deep space? Like, not deep, but just going into space. Like, is it properly pressurized for humans? Because, like, okay, whatever. Again, let's turn off the brain. But that's part of it too. Like, I didn't have to care because I was so engaged and entertained by the story that's what mattered. Not so much the anatomical accuracy and the ergonomics of the controls in the seats for these tiny people versus these giant aliens. Who cares? Let's just watch them blow stuff up.
So, Kim,
Why didn't they wear spacesuits?
Thank you.
I never thought of
that
it.
until today.
That's great. It's giving like, I don't know if you guys watched like the Fast and the Furious movies. Like they get a car into space at some point. It's giving that. It's like, I don't know, plot point, just let it go. But like I'm thinking about it now, yeah, like they're working with NASA. Like they could have worn, I guess they didn't want to like cover the faces, but like they could have put a spacesuit on them. Like there's no oxygen in that thing. They went to space with no, your son has ruined my day. Let him know, because now I have thoughts that I shouldn't be having. But why would that? Was that just
now you're using logic, and who needs that right now?
the movie was so big, and they thought to include all these things, but like not spacesuits going into space, and I never questioned it. 30 years later. Well, you know what? The children are our future. Let him go. He's got it. He's gonna stop AI because he's asking questions with his brain. Here we go.
Exactly.
Outside, my notes say this movie has everything, but not spacesuits. But it's a love story. It's a family drama, aliens, explosions, adorable children. But like the biggest thing that I liked this movie was all the diversity, and not just in race. Like you have social status, economic status, and the cities look like cities. Like the workplaces look like workplaces we work in. And like the women do a lot of the saving, and the nerd saves the day. Like he gets all the way to the White House with his old dad, and he manages to like get people to listen to him because he is smart. And he was like, I'm smart. He's not arrogant about it, but he's like, this is the plan that we should do, and you can listen to me or you cannot. So I think having like those voices that you don't typically see in like big Hollywood movies like that or big summer blockbusters makes it something that is it reaches different audiences. Like this movie had something for everyone. So everybody who went to go see it was like, I see the nerd in me. I see Jasmine in me. And like, I can make this my story as well. I feel like this movie is fantastic. And the pacing is really, really good. Like I know that it's 2.5 hours long, but I don't think it feels that long. I never felt like bored or felt like it was too long. Maybe right around Bill Pullman's speech is kind of the thing for me that I'm like, oh, this is almost over. But it doesn't feel like, oh, thank God this is almost over. Like I don't ever check my watch when I'm watching this movie. I don't think there's a lot of filler scenes. The action is really good. Like the first half an hour, you don't even see any aliens. It's just like tension, moving the story along. And I feel like that's what good movies need. Like the tension just from what's happening is so great. And there's all this dread and buildup. And then the reveal, there's a countdown clock, things start exploding. Like now I'm locked in because there's explosions. The movie also happens to be like really funny. Like there's great one-liners, there's great little scenarios, and they don't spare them because like people like, they just kill everybody who's like not like, it's like, they're not like, oh no, this person's too big to kill. Like, no, that person's going to die. It's totally fine. Kill Harry Connick Jr. He was like huge at the time. So I love this movie. I think that it's a very successful blockbuster because like you said, we're remembering it years after the fact. Like I saw this in theaters. They were playing it at a Nighthawk by me maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, well, I'm going to go. And there are people in the audience who had not seen it. And I was just like, bro, how? But like this one guy was like kind of talking through the movie, which bothered me. But he was talking like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Then what? Then what's next? Like he was asking all these questions and he left and he was so excited that he saw this movie. So I think that if you saw it on the big screen first, it might have really made a difference. Like that's how I feel about Beetlejuice. I didn't see Beetlejuice till I was like 26. And like, I don't like that movie. If I saw it when I was a kid, I think it would have made a difference. But I think this is a successful blockbuster. It has standing. And again, it is my 4th of July. So I definitely making a bigger deal out of it. But this is my new 4th of July. So it has huge standing with me.
I agree. I think if I had seen this on the big screen, it would have made a difference. It's kind of like how with the movie Poltergeist, I think in general, when people see that movie for the first time when they're adults, it doesn't have the same impact as it did if you saw it when you were younger, I think. As far as like, I know a lot of people that saw it when they were adults and are like, this movie is not scary at all. This movie is not this at all. So it's one of those, there are a lot of movies that are kind of like that, I think. So first up, Tiff. Tiff said, explosion. I think this should actually be the IMDb description, by the way. Explosions, aliens, plucky can-do attitudes, and a rousing speech. How can you go wrong?
That's pretty much the whole movie right there.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kept writing down in my notes that this was like a very typical 90s action sci-fi movie. It did fit with that very much, like, for the most part, you thought things were going to be okay. There were a couple of, like you said, those shocking deaths. But with Randy Quaid's character, who I didn't really mention that when we were talking about characters. I also don't like Randy Quaid at all. But
Fair.
Randy Quaid's character sacrificing himself, that's something that happens in these movies. That's kind of part of the formula too, is you have a character that's going to sacrifice themselves to help save the day. And that's what he does. And it has those rousing speeches. It has that camaraderie. It has people coming together. It has, a love story. It has family. It has all of those things. It has good special effects. It has catchy dialogue that may not be real to the way people always talk, but it works in the movie. Quotable stuff that you're going to remember, stuff that people are going to be quoting for years. So it's basically like the perfect formula for a summer blockbuster. And that's why it's not shocking to me that this movie was insanely successful, made so much money. So that's not shocking to me at all, because it has all the right formulas. It has a good cast. It has a cast that included a lot of people at that time that were very, very, very popular. So that helped it as well. Will Smith is still popular, but this was kind of the height of his blockbuster popularity status. And so that was a big thing, was having Will Smith in this. I know when this movie was advertised, I do remember the advertising for this movie and the push for this movie, and how Will Smith was the biggest highlight in any advertising I saw. So you had that. So it just is a perfect blockbuster where you end up having the happy ending, because this is like an end of the world Armageddon almost type movie, but at the same time, it's got this other like blockbuster feel good feeling to it. So it doesn't have the darkness of most apocalyptic movies.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works as a blockbuster instead of like just like a cool sci-fi movie. So yeah, it's got that. It even has like, the, in a way, like even like the Spielberg-y effect, the Spielberg feel to it. Yeah. And maybe I'm just saying that because we have an alien movie out right now. It's a Steven Spielberg movie, Disclosure Day, which that movie was way too long.
How long was it actually?
It's like 2.5 hours long. Actually,
Was
it's
it
longer than
good?
that. I think it's longer than that, actually, maybe. I thought it was, I liked it should have focused more on the aliens. That was such a small, actually, part of it, even though that's the big thing about it. Everyone is raving about Emily Blunt. I actually thought she was just like hit or miss for me, which I know I can hear people booing me right now. I thought there were some good performances and some of it was interesting, and I wanted to know more about the aliens. So it was just, I don't know. I'm not a big Steven Spielberg fan, though, I do want to say. So that always colors sort of like how I view things from him. I believe he's anti-AI, though. I believe he's one of the ones that's come out against AI. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. That is good. Yeah.
And I understand how his movies, even though I'm not a fan of Jaws, but I understand how Jaws and his movies kind of shaped blockbusters today. Like we would not have Independence Day without Jaws, in all honesty.
Oh, absolutely not.
So I understand and I appreciate his contribution, and he seems like an okay guy. I don't know. His movies are they just don't always work for me. So I do like a few of his movies, but they don't always work for me. Poltergeist, he was just a producer, although that is kind of his movie. He kind of took over that movie a little bit. But anyway. So yeah, so I think this does work as a blockbuster. And if you haven't seen it, like I hadn't seen it, and if it's playing at a theater, I would recommend seeing it that way, because I do think that probably would have made a difference for me.
I second that.
Yeah, because the sound because I watched it through Hulu, and something with the sound, like it kept going, like it'd be really quiet and then really loud and then really, one of those kind of experiences. And so that, I think if you could get the sound from like a theater and all of that, it'd be like a lot better. So I recommend that. Okay, well, thank you, Carla and Kim, and especially since you had to deal with somebody who had never seen this movie before. Fergie did sort of watch this with me, but she was really transfixed at one point because she was up on the couch with me, and it was a moment with Boomer, and I don't remember if it was when he jumped just in time, but I don't think it was that because I think he was barking or something, and she was like, "What are we watching? This better not be that Good Boy movie again." She's not a fan of Indy. Jealous.
That movie was so good.
Yes, I love that movie, but she's like, paying attention to that dog more than me. I have a Good Boy shirt, and she's probably like, oh, seriously. Anyway.
Where's your Fergie shirt? I don't see
Yeah.
a Fergie shirt.
You should.
That's probably what she's thinking. She's like,
Right?
oh, so you wear him on your chest, but me, I'm just going to sit here and be ignored? Cool.
Probably. Okay, but seriously, thank you both. I know it can always be kind of like, oh gosh, is she going to love this movie or hate this movie if I've never seen it? Because, we've had the experiences like Gilmore Girls where I'd never watched that and I did not like that show, and had two people on that loved that show. So I know it can be a very hit or miss. And thank you both for joining me. And thank you, Tiff, for submitting your thoughts as well. But we're going to go ahead and turn to 6 Degrees of Mr. Finn Wittrock. I don't know this for a fact, but I am assuming Finn Wittrock is a fan of this movie. I'm just assuming that. I don't know this. Okay, so Carla, how did you connect Finn Wittrock to Independence Day?
Well, I went with Judd Hirsch because he was a delight in this movie. I just love how much he loved his son. Okay, like that was incredibly sweet. Anyway.
You'd be dead without my David. All of you, be dead without my David.
Like the biggest cheerleader for his boy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart. Okay, so Judd Hirsch was in Burning at Both Ends with Robbie Kay, who was in Locating Silver Lake with Finn Wittrock.
Wow, we have not used that one in a long time. And for people who haven't seen it, it is like, that is one of my favorite Finn Wittrock characters. He's so good in that. The costuming, I keep wanting Moth to do something with costume design with that movie. Some of the stuff he wears, it's just like some of the makeup that he has on, and spoilers, and you learn this pretty quickly. It's not a good character he's playing, but he's the best part of that whole movie. He's kind of a supporting character, but yeah. I mean, if you want to check it out, I do recommend it. It's kind of got culty vibes to it, so if that's not your thing, then it wouldn't be your thing. But
I just looked it up, adding it to the list. Oh.
I love him in that. Some of those outfits he wears are just, oh my God, they're amazing. So Kim, how did you do it?
So I did it with my own brain this time. I never do. I always look it up because I don't know enough of his movies, but I knew this one. So starting with Vivica A. Fox, who was in Soul Food with Michael Beach, who was in If Beale Street Could Talk with Finn.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And that's a great movie too, by the way, everybody. Yeah, he's in that for like a little tiny bit, but that movie is so good. So I am surprised that nobody used Bill Pullman. I thought for sure Carla would use Bill Pullman. But
That's totally too obvious.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh? But I used Bill Pullman, who was, of course, in the show Sinners. And in one season of Sinners was also Matt Bomer. And Matt Bomer has been in quite a few things with Finn. But one of them is The Normal Heart. So, which is a really, really good movie. One of the few things of Ryan Murphy's that I can pretty much have like no criticisms about. You can go back and listen to our episode covering that. And it's one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. So, yeah. Well, thank you again, Carla and Kim, and shout out to Tiff out there for joining me to talk about Independence Day. So far, our most patriotic episode to date.
I'm proud to be American.
That's about as much as I can hear that song.
Let's not go that
I
far.
hate that song.
I hate that song. It's so terrible.
At the hockey games, they have this thing like, honoring our veterans. They pick a veteran and then they highlight them on the screen and they play that song. And for the entire 45 seconds that the song plays, I just want to throw up the entire time. I'm like,
oh my God,
why are we doing this again? I hate it. Pick another song at least.
Yeah. I despise that song. It's anyway, it's one of the worst songs ever written. And I have a feeling the majority of our audience probably doesn't like that song either. And Fergie, the dog, definitely hates that song. Fergie, I think, actually did like Boomer and was rooting for... That's Fergie's favorite character in the movie is Boomer.
Nice.
But Fergie does love horror movies, loves Abbott Elementary, and she loves true crime. Like I've mentioned before, we leave Dateline on when we leave the house. The other night when I went to trivia, I made sure Dateline was on for Fergie. Not dog shows, Dateline.
You better make that t-shirt. She's plotting. She knows how to get rid of your body.
Somewhere out there, she's making notes.
It's true. Still, the creepiest was when we covered Nip Tuck a few years back. The hardest thing I've ever done for this podcast was rewatching that. And she sat there, and every time they had a plastic surgery scene, she was so into it that it really was creepy. It was like, why are you so into watching a surgery? Are you like plotting something?
Yes.
So, she probably is. You're probably right. I do need to create that. We should create some Fergie merch. Hey,
I'd wear it.
She's a big part of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should create some Fergie merch. I'm gonna ask Erin A about that. But you can follow Fergie on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find links to all our past episodes and our social media, including our Discord server, head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free content, you get episodes a day early, and you get bonus episodes. Like we will be releasing a bonus episode covering season 5 of The Bear, the Vampire Lestat in August. And then also Tiff and I are going to be doing a special bonus episode this month. Well, because since you're listening to this in July, this month, covering the movie Minority Report. Not Minority Report.
Ooh.
What am I talking about? That's not the movie we're covering.
I just got so excited. I was like, we were just talking about Steven Spielberg, and it's him and Tom Cruise. Like,
I actually do like Minority Report. Yeah, but you know who else is in Minority Report?
Oh, Colin Farrell.
Yes,
Yes.
my future hubby. No, we're going to be talking about Collateral, the movie that Jamie Foxx is 10,000 times better in than Ray, the one that he won the Oscar for. Anyway, I know we're going to talk about that. And I also think Tom Cruise is fantastic in that movie.
I really like Tom Cruise. I should not like him as much as I do, but he is an entertainer.
That I'm in the same boat, Kim.
Mhm.
And I know that some out there are going to groan. But speaking of that, we are basically doing a mini Tom Cruise month.
I saw
for the
that.
next 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So next week we are talking about Top Gun. The week after that, we're talking about the first Mission Impossible movie. And then the week after that, we are talking about Jerry Maguire. So we are doing a mini Tom Cruise celebration.
Mhm.
I know. I understand. But it's like
Tom
those
Cruise
guilty
is to
pleasures.
me what Jeff Goldblum is to you.
Oh.
And to a lot of people,
Yes.
I get it. I understand. I think he's weird off screen, although
Mhm.
you hear so many stories. Like I saw this TikTok of this reviewer, or I think he was a reviewer, talking about him and how like this whole story about when he was interviewing him for some movie and how like, I don't know, that this cool stuff he did, like sending him all these toys for his children that
Mhm.
were about to be born. And you see all these things. I am not saying that I'm not excusing any other kind of stuff like cult stuff or
No.
anything like that. But I can't help it. I know, but I love watching Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I think he is a fantastic actor. He's very likely going to be nominated for an Oscar this year, by the way. So for an upcoming movie called The Digger. So
Oh, yeah. I'm hearing
Yeah.
very good things about that. Yeah.
So I understand. I get it. I totally get
Yeah.
it. And I understand the valid criticisms. They're very valid. But I do love watching him. I
Yeah.
just do.
Sam.
I know. Mission Impossible is my favorite action franchise. So we are going to be
Same.
talking.
I don't like the first one though, but all the other
really?
ones.
You don't like the
I love
first
the
one?
first
I can't get into it. I'm surprised that I got into it enough to like the rest of them. But Tom Cruise for me is like his religion, yes, but I feel like every religion is a bit of a cult. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's true.
everybody's doing something they shouldn't be doing. This guy is a little batshit crazy, but that's how we get that kind of actor. Like he does his own stunts. A normal person would not jump across like 2 buildings and break their ankle on screen like he did in the Mission Impossible movie. Like maybe that's what we need. I like him for that craziness. I don't need to know about his personal life. That's a person who I definitely am like, I like you on screen and I'm going to leave it at that. But if he sent me a coconut cake, I'd be really excited about it because he does that. He's got a list for Christmas that he sends coconut cakes.
That infamous cake.
That infamous cake. Apparently, it's delicious.
I know.
Sends out hundreds.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
I've seen so many TikToks of people eating that cake. That infamous cake.
You can't get that cake during Christmas because they only make it for his people during Christmas because he sends out so many of them.
Can you imagine being on that list?
I would never stop talking about it if I was on that list. I would have a slice a day.
Him, not for the sake of interviewing him, not for the sake of discussing his career, so she could get it on the list to get cake.
On the list.
Yes, and then we all fly over to you, Erin, and have cake with you.
Yes.
I will say I did know. I'm sorry, we went off on a little tangent before closing out because we were supposed to be done. But I will quickly say, and I'll share this again when we talk about Jerry Maguire. But I actually I knew someone who was an extra on Jerry Maguire. And they said the reason Tom Cruise has always been in this, one of the reasons he's lasted so long is he's genuinely like a nice person. And like this person said, I was an extra. I was there for like 2 minutes. I was sitting down. He came over. Tom Cruise like came over of his own like free will, whatever, came over, sat down and said, isn't this just amazing that we get to make a movie? We're making a movie. Isn't this the greatest experience? And like started asking him about his life and talking to him. No, he wasn't trying to recruit him. Maybe he was. I don't know. But you hear stories like that, like when the last Mission Impossible movie came out and he spent all that time in like talking to all the AMC employees and like you hear stories like that. So there's the part of it where you're like, okay, well, he's probably might be doing that for the PR because of the cult stuff. But I can't help it. I just love watching him. I think he should have won an Oscar for Magnolia, Born on the 4th of July. I mean, just all these performances I can think of. I love him in Rock of Ages. I'm one of the only people in the world that loves that movie. So anyway, sorry, we can stop. I'm sorry.
We'll do our own show about how much we love Tom Cruise. If you do another marathon next year, let me know. We can jump in on there. But he's a master of his craft.
Yeah.
Kim and Erin's new podcast is a Tom Cruise thing they use.
Yeah. Tiff will want to be on it too because Tiff also likes him as an actor. So
it'll be called Hear Me Out.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise might not be that bad.
Hear me out. So look for Top Gun next week. I think we're going to devote a whole section just talking about the volleyball scene.
Fair.
Have to. Thank you again to Carla and Kim for joining me. We're going to go ahead and close out, and you can both say where you can be found. So Carla, tell everybody about OK Real Quick.
Thank you. You can find OK Real Quick, my podcast, wherever you found this podcast. You can also find our social media by looking for @OK Real Quick. I'm not really doing a lot on social media, but you're welcome to find our vintage posts and my not so vintage because they are eventually going to get refreshed. My content on my website, which is carlatemis.com, which is CarlaTemis.com.
Awesome. Thank you. I still do a little shimmy.
I love it. I love it every time. I'm like, I kind of look for it. I'm like, is she doing it? Yeah, she's doing it.
And Kim, Big Reputations Pod. People should still go listen to it. So tell everybody.
Yeah. So we actually are just about to renew our Podbean account. So they'll be on there for another year. And I know we said like retired, but I'm like, we're a long pause. Unless I have another baby, but maybe we'll be back in a couple of years because I miss writing. But if you want to listen to our old episodes about women that we judge too harshly, they're on there wherever you can find podcasts. We're also on Instagram @Big Reputations Pod, and you can find me on Instagram @KimPlaints_NYC.
So until next time, remember it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and Free Palestine.